Welcome back to another video with Havoc the Degen. I'm Havoc the Degen, and chances are if you're here, you're also somewhat of a Degen. So thanks for being here. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, as a Degen, we tend to do Degen things. So please keep in mind that this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm simply here to bring information and education to the DeFi space as I'm learning it myself. I'm not some guru, I'm not some genius, I'm not some guy who can tell you how to go make $1 million. So again, this is not financial advice. Now that we've covered that, let's look at Valifi. If you are not familiar, this project is amazing. It has not launched yet, but I am very excited about this one. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know we check out the white paper, but before we do that, I have to warn you, I'm not going to be the one going through the introduction on the white paper with you. Instead, in order to make it a little more epic and capture the tone of what I think this could be, I've actually hired the movie trailer guy to read us through the introduction. You know what I'm talking about? The guy that's like, in a world. And then he does the voice and the things and it sounds cool. He's going to be reading us through. But before we get to that, you know what we got to do? If you are not already, please hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications. That helps you see the new videos as soon as those come out. So if you really want to support the channel, watch those videos as soon as they come out because that helps more people be able to see the video because YouTube's algorithm and all that fun stuff. Also, be sure to like and, of course, drop a comment. Let me know, do you enjoy this little bit of spice we're about to add to the white paper? Here we go.
Traditional banking systems are becoming obsolete as people regain control of their finances. Almost zero interest rates on your earnings, costly fees, and a poor overall banking experience has opened the doors to a completely new way of handling money. New opportunities in the DeFi space have emerged. However, whenever a new technology or industry is introduced, there are always going to be caveats and drawbacks. Not only does regulation take time to catch up, but the lack of maturity, experience, and many times negative intentions by developers will result in losses for those who trusted an initially flawed system. Valifi aims to disrupt the DeFi industry and the negative connotations around it. Sadly, those who have been affected by scams and rug pulls have lost trust in the technology that was supposed to make our lives better. All members of this project's team came together after being scammed on a platform that promised passive income from investment management. They called it DeFi as a Service, or DaaS, and couldn't deliver on their promise to provide a simple platform where yield is generated without its users having to worry where to diversify and allocate their investments. Valifi's mission is to give its community exactly what a DaaS platform should be: realistic ROIs, sustainability, and a community-driven system that would deliver passive income with investments that are diversified and transparently allocated. The project aims to restore trust and faith in a system which should build wealth across the entire community and not just feed its creators. A public treasury and frequent polls will allow everyone to understand where funds are allocated at all times.
Okay, but like really, how epic was that? You guys like that? Was that fun? I hope it was. So now let's dive into why I'm actually so excited about this project. So we know that this is a DeFi as a service project. They're focusing on realistic ROIs and sustainability, but how are they doing that? So let's dive into the tokenomics and then we'll dive into the security and a little bit more about the team in the project. So I come in here and I buy what's called a yield box. That would be their node, which again, it's not a real node. It's a DeFi as a service, but just so it's clear, because this yield box term hasn't been used in other projects, it's usually called a node. So I come in and I have to buy with 5 Vali, their native token, as well as the equivalent value in stable coins to 5 Vali. So it's almost like a stable backed liquidity token, yet it's not. And I'll explain why that's a big deal in just a moment. But you take your 5 Vali, your equivalent value in stables, you buy 1 yield box. Here's an example: 500, 500, 1,000 total, buys 1 yield box. That's going to generate you 0.1 Vali per day or $10 per day, which is a 1% daily ROI. Now, there will be a monthly fee to maintain the yield box, which can be paid 3 months in advance. So it's similar to Strong. I think Thor's doing something like that now, and they'll have a 1-month grace period. Otherwise, your yield box is gone, which I think makes sense. Not a big deal. 0 fees for compounding, 0 fee for claiming, 0 fee for selling Vali rewards. I really like that. A lot of these projects come out with these crazy ROIs, crazy APRs, but then you're paying so much for compounding or claiming or selling that what they're advertising isn't actually accurate. And I get it, I'm in marketing, so I understand what they're doing, but seeing the zero fee for compounding, for claiming, for selling, that's a breath of fresh air, let's be honest. Now, why is this such a big deal? Let's take a look at their back end, the Valifi engine, they call it. Again, I'm the investor, I come in, I put 5 Vali, the equivalent value in stable coins, and I buy a yield box. Now, when I do that, we're sitting at 50% Vali, 50% stable. They're gonna take 10% of that total investment, $1,000, 5% in Vali, 5% in AVAX. Then they're gonna add that to the liquidity pool in Trader Joe, which adds liquidity to the protocol. Then they're gonna take 5% of that investment in Vali, and they're gonna put that towards the payroll fund. They'll take the rest of the stable coin portion that I contributed, and that's going into the treasury for investments. And then finally, the rest of the Vali that I've invested goes into the rewards pool, pays out to yield boxes. Now, this is where it's really cool, is that 4.5 in stable goes to the treasury and it's making other investments. Of those investments, 10% go into development and marketing, future development of the project, 5% go to the payroll fund, 85% go to the buyback fund, which means they'll be burning Vali and increasing the price, as well as pushing some of those to the rewards pool to make sure that it's sustainable. But in remaining sustainable, if we go down to the buyback section here, the treasury is going to be programmed to buy back Vali from the market when the price dips below a certain amount, which means the treasury is not going to be doing buybacks when the price is high or in some sort of a significant uptrend, because that would cause a higher barrier to entry and reduce the amount of new investors coming in. So you're thinking, all right, I could have looked at all of this myself. What is the big deal here? Well, the big deal is in most node projects, when you buy the token and you go create your node, they're selling a portion of those tokens in order to get another token out and go make investments. They can't take their token and buy back into their protocol as an investment. So they have to sell it, which increases the sell pressure on the protocol. But because yield boxes are bought half in stable, they're taking a large portion of that to go make their treasury investments, meaning they're not selling their native token to go make those investments. They're also introducing a lottery. Now, this will go to helping support people that were victims of the Ring Financial or Ring Node project scam, as well as burning tokens and going back into the prize pool. So what is the Ring Relief Project? Basically, this is a fund that they've put together to try to restore some trust in the DeFi space after Ring rugged everybody or scammed everybody. You can see how it's broken down right here. 5% of the funds from the lottery will go to the NFT holders once the Ring Relief Fund has been funded. And then that other 5% of the 10% in the Ring Relief Fund will go to the treasury, which we already talked about is out there producing profits to help sustainability and support the protocol. But I haven't said anything about the NFTs. So what is that? So the NFTs are your yield keys. And how these work is they limit the number of yield boxes you can actively have earning a yield. So you'll see the common allows you to have 4 active yield boxes. The rare allows you to have 6, 8, and the legendary, which have already been sold out and are only available on secondary marketplaces, allows you to hold 12 yield boxes. It also has a lower monthly fee, and this is the one that receives the lottery revenue share. Plus, this allows you to purchase 10 yield boxes at only $250 a piece during the pre-sale period. So these legendary NFTs are like gold. And right now, the floor on these is 13.8 AVAX. The mint price was $250 and the floor is 13.8 AVAX. As we can see here, this is their marketplace for NFTs. Currently, I don't see any for sale, clearly. You can, however, purchase them on NF Trade under the verified collection Valifi NFT. Keep in mind, if you are listed here, there's a 10% royalty. However, if you list on their actual native marketplace, there's only a 5% royalty. And 100% of the commissions generated from those royalties will be going back to the treasury. Now, speaking of the dApp, here is an example that they had posted inside of their Discord, which I will link down below in the description. I don't see anything on here yet that's showing the NFT that you have or what it allows, but this is basically what they're aiming for the dApp to look like. Now, the last I was made aware, you can have 1 active yield box without an NFT. If you want more than 1, you will need an NFT. So now let's get into some of the security aspects of this. The team has been completely doxxed with Assure DeFi, which means instead of putting out their full private information, full names, etc., They have instead verified their information and their identities to a private company. Now, what happens if they were to rug? Basically, if they were to rug, then on the request of authorities, they would authorize the release of their identity information and assist the authorities in any way they can. Keep in mind, the authorities actually have to request their information because Assure will only release identity details to an authority with proper jurisdiction. And just to be clear, from what I understand, Assure DeFi is one of the higher end KYC companies. But remember how I told you I really liked this project? If you visit their Discord, they've actually put all of their social media profiles on there. And maybe not every single profile for every single person, but each person has put their social media profile in the Discord and made it public. And just to show you that this is not like somewhere you're going to go to their profile and it's going to be an NFT picture and it's going to be completely anonymous, I pulled up Blade's social media. And you can see he's got his face here. We can see who he is. We can see he's got 16.1 thousand followers. Speaking of Instagram, Twitter, all that fun stuff, if you're not following Havoc the Degen on Twitter, Instagram, and so on, I'll drop the links down below in the description so you can make sure to connect with me there as well. But going back to their leadership portion of the white paper, you can see what kind of experience each of the people involved in this project actually have. So the only thing we haven't seen yet in terms of security for this project would be an audit. However, that is on the roadmap, an official CerTic audit. So they are planning to have that audit prior to the release of their token. Now, if you found this valuable, if you found this helpful, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on, and drop me a comment if you made it all the way to the end. Also, are there any other projects that you're looking at right now that are really cool? Because if there are, drop them down below in the comments so I can take a look. And with that, I hope this has been a really helpful video that shows you what Valifi is doing, what they're intending to do, and why I'm so excited about that. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you on the next one.